Hey, what's up, guys? Norcetto here. Thanks for stopping in. So, new format, as you can tell. Things are a little bit different. I am in this nice, comfy leather chair I got rolling here. So, I actually bought a house. Yeah, me and my wife, my family bought a house, and we're going to be moving in the next couple of months, but we're already packing. My office is getting packed up and used as the staging zone for everything, so you may see me kind of branch outside of my comfort zone and try a few new things. This is one of them. Me, nice, comfy, leather chair. Awesome. So, lots of stuff has happened. It's been a couple weeks since I had a video, and oh my god, at the stuff that's happened, I want to jump right in well, let's talk about Toronto first, because I did miss Toronto, and that was a pretty decent game. The score, I think it was a 3-1, is a lot, it was a lot closer than the score really lets on. Toronto played a great game, but we were able to, squeak it out and finish the fights when they mattered the most. But Paris is who we played this last week, and that was a game that everyone expected Paris to take. Even the people who were in Atlanta's, on their side, who thought when we're hoping that Atlanta will win, we're still saying that, it might be in a game 5 or it's going to be very, very close. No, we beat the crap out of Paris. Now, to be fair, a lot of people were ranking Paris as one of the best teams in the meta. They were really good at goats. And they had really good team synergy. Now, this comes from literally 2 games played. Now, they looked really good during those games, but in retrospect, maybe Paris isn't as good as we gave them credit for. I want to try to be realistic. I don't want Atlanta to get, huge heads and think that they're beating the crap out of people when people just overrated Paris, but I'll be honest, guys, Atlanta looked great. Atlanta looked great showing up to face Paris with just everyone on the team. Pokpo had some crazy pulls for environmental kills, Massa with a huge boops, and obviously we have to talk about Dafran over the roof, Dafran over the top. So if you haven't seen this, which I'll go ahead and play it again because it's always worth a rewatch. I will watch this play repeatedly for the foreseeable future, but I'll go ahead and throw it up. This is Massa speed boosting Dafran on the Zarya over the roof at this first choke on Hollywood attack after you take the first point. And yeah, nobody saw this coming. No one on Paris saw this thing coming. From here on out, you may see Diva players caught in this choke looking up to make sure they don't, get bombed on by a Zarya. But no one had ever really seen this. This is something they pulled off of Reddit. Massa even said after the game that it's something they saw on Reddit and decided to give it a shot, and it worked great. But not just that big play. There were huge plays across the game from across the roster. Erster played a absolutely phenomenal Junkrat on Anubis defense, and I mean, we could give the win on Anubis. We could pretty much credit that to Erster and how well he played. So the entire team is doing well. Our synergy looks great, and we just beat the crap out of a team that a lot of people had ranked 3rd. So Atlanta has popped up as number 3rd on a lot of lists, number 4 on some other lists where people put Shock ahead of them, and I don't necessarily think that's unfair. Obviously I think Atlanta's above Shock, but that right there is probably the closest team to Atlanta in terms of viability and skill in the league. I still think there's this gap where Vancouver especially, and to a slightly lesser extent, in my opinion, New York, are just kind of on this elevated playing field. But with how volatile the games have been this season, I can see, honestly, any team showing up and beating pretty much any other team if the conditions are right on a certain day. I mean, San Francisco Shock, a lot of people are ranking them 3rd or 4th, swap them around with Atlanta, depending on which spot you put them in. But this is also a team that their only loss has come to an LA Gladiators team who are 1-4 right now. So, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell who should go where, just because a lot of these teams are so close to one another in skill and ability that it seems like on any day a couple players might be playing a little better than the other team so they're going to take it. So I'm really happy with the way season 2 is going. It's a lot more competitive than I thought it was going to be. We're seeing a lot less goats than I thought we would see. Now it is still, I mean, even the casters call it the standard. They're going back to the standard composition. But no, we've been seeing a lot of quad DPS with a single support and a Hammond tank on certain maps. The Sombra has been very popular, and we've even seen snipers pop up on certain maps. Like I know we sub in Inlayer for Busan just for I know Mecha Base. He kills it on Widow whenever we swap him in. So there's a lot more heroes being played. I think every single hero in the roster has been played this season, and I think they were all played in week 1, including that Dafran Torbjorn, which we continue to see on Ilios, that I love every time it comes out. So thank you for that. But yeah, we are looking great. A lot of people have us ranked number 3. Some people have us ranked number 4. Regardless, I think that's absolutely phenomenal for this team, for this being their first season. Now, coming up this week on Thursday, which is actually tomorrow as of the recording of this, I'm going to try to get this up ASAP, we face off against the LA Gladiators, who have had a very, very rough season at this point. They're 1-4, like I said. But again, their one win comes against San Francisco Shock, who has been just really solid. A lot of people have Shock ranked 4th or 3rd or right up there with Atlanta. So to know that their one loss came from a team we're facing this week, I don't think we need to underestimate LA because of their ranking or because of the games that they've lost. I think they have ability. I think they've it's been a little rough for them without Bishu because he's been out and trying to integrate players like Decay in. These are all things that LA is working on, but once they get those pieces in the right place, I have a feeling they're going to be a scary team. So I don't think we should sleep on LA. And then after that, we got a double header coming up, a Saturday and then a Sunday game with Chengdu and Houston, which our only loss this season was against Philly in our opening week where we had to prepare for 2 different games. Now I still think Philly's a good team, and I think I'd put them right up there behind Shock, definitely top 10 team. But yeah, the week we had to prepare for 2 games, we lost one of them. And that's actually something that's happened with a lot of teams this season is weeks they have 2 games, one goes well, the other one not so much. So I don't think we should, if we're playing our consistent compositions, our consistent skillful team play, we shouldn't have a problem with the Gladiators, with the Hunters, or the Outlaws. But if we don't focus, if we pull our foot off the gas, I do think these games are up for grabs. I do think if we come in a little bit lazy and the Gladiators show up wanting to win, that it's going to be a rough time. So I really encourage the team and coaching staff to, and I think they are, respect your opponent, keep training, keep the pedal down, and keep working for stage playoffs because that is coming soon, and we are in a prime position to make stage playoffs. And you'll get to see Atlanta up against the behemoths that make it to stage playoffs that we didn't expect to play until later on in stage 2 and beyond. So that's the situation with the games right now. Atlanta's looking great. Atlanta's looking fine, and I told all of you people that Atlanta was going to be a top 10, probably top 5 team, and no one believed me. So bias. Anyway, moving on from that, something else that has happened since I made my last video, and like I said, it's been a little while, is Rain Rising, which we talked about Rain Rising before it debuted based on some posters that had come out about this weekly YouTube series. And there's been 2 episodes. It's weekly every Thursday. We should have another episode tomorrow. And it's been so nice to really get an inside look at the house, at the players, at the coaching staff especially, and really just get to see what all these conditions are and where the guys are at, where they get to play and stuff like that. We've gotten a lot of great insights from Kasoris, who's been sitting in the chair and kind of just relaying off a lot of information about how things are going behind the scenes. And then, yeah, just all of the players they seem so relaxed and so happy to be there. And they've been giving huge shout outs to the fans and the watch parties and everything, it always makes us feel good. I know the guys that are running the parties up in Atlanta that I try to help out with, but I'm out of town, so I have the utmost respect for the people who are on the ground, feet on the ground, setting up these parties and making sure people have a place to go and have a place to watch. But for the team to give shout outs to all the fans and stuff, that's, I mean, it's a relationship where, you know, the team acknowledging the fans make us want to cheer louder, and us cheering louder makes them want to play better. And it's just, we're in a really good place. We really, I'm not going to say lucked out, but you know what? Yeah, we lucked out. We have such a great organization from top to bottom. They really, really support the players, from giving them all the resources they need to understanding, you know, what people need outside of the game to keep them healthy, exercise regimen, making sure you're drinking water, a chef, a psychologist, and some R&R, going out and you know, going go-karting with each other and just having fun. So it's been really, really great. If you haven't seen those, I'll definitely put a link in the description. Check out Rain Rising. Jarrell and the content team over with the Rain are doing a bang-up job. I'm so happy with how this stuff is going on. So yeah, check that out. Moving on from that, we are starting up today, actually, Wednesday, is the start of North American Contenders Season 1 2019. And as we know, Dogman, who was our Zen player on the Academy team, was moved up to the main roster. Not a two-way contract, he was just completely moved up. So with a six-person squad that we had with ATL Academy, we had to replace someone. And there's been a lot of speculation going around about who that person could be. You know, we need a support player, and the entire team is American. Are we looking for another American player? All of that apparently got thrown out the window. So our new ATL Academy player is a guy by the name of Prefect, kind of like Perfect, or Perfect. Sorry, Perfect. And he is a Korean player from Contenders Pacific. He played with a team called Hong Kong Attitude, who just blew up the Pacific scene. They looked great. A lot of them have actually been picked up by other organizations at this point, and we picked up Perfect from that team. The twist here is that he is a hit scan player. He is not a support player, so we replaced our support player in Dogman with another DPS player. For about a day, people were really wondering was there going to be another signing or what this meant for the team. Saucy actually came out and said that he is going to be flexing over to a support role this season. So we are going to get to see Saucy, who was a DPS player and in the GOATS meta has played a ton of Zarya tank, going to be moving over to support. So yeah, watch out for OWL agents and scouts, rather, Saucy, because if you can play at a high level and show that you can play a tank, DPS, and support, you are going to be being looked at. So hold on to him, Atlanta. Let's see how he does, and I have really high hopes for this team. Welcome to the team, Perfect, and good luck, Saucy, on that flex support role. And speaking of Dogman, I wanted to kind of give him specifically a shout out for a few things. One is his banter that he's brought up to the league, which is, you know, a lot of people love the kind of light ribbing and stuff as long as it doesn't move over to toxicity. And I think Dogman has struck this perfect balance where I know Poco on Philadelphia Fusion said, you know, Philly beat us at the very end. And apparently when he was shaking hands, Dogman said that they were feeding the whole time, which lighthearted ribbing. I mean, it's you know, they lost, so that was just a you know, we had a good time. You guys suck even though you won, ha ha ha. And you know, that was fun. Poco said he's got some balls on him. And then later on, while they were playing Paris, Dogman actually either took his headset off or moved the mic out of the way and shouted out to the crowd that Cruz was feeding on the Eternal. Now, I doubt Cruz could hear this. He had his own headset on. This was a move by Dogman to hype the crowd up. And he's been going out and asking people if they want to meet after games just to say hello, get some things signed. And I can't explain how, you know, great it is that we have him on the team, kind of doing this community outreach and stuff. And not just Dogman. I know several players on the teams have really talked about how important fan interactions are and stuff to them. But Dogman especially has been making waves from some of the stuff he's been doing. But So yeah, guys, that's pretty much what we got. I know it's been a little while. Like I said, there's leather couch, lots going on over here. But going forward, we only have 3 games until we get to stage playoffs. There are going to be watch parties for each of these. Not as big as the first one, but I should be able to go to the Chengdu one up in Atlanta. And speaking of watch parties, before we get out of here and before I shut this down, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Royal Family. And people may have seen this name going around and wondering what that is. The Royal Family is a group that was kind of set up by people who were starting to make watch parties and doing content creators, streamers, and just a lot of fans who have been going out of their way and banding together to make sure these watch parties go off. Now, this group have contact with the team, so parties they set up. The one at Battle and Brew to begin with was tweeted out and made official by the Atlanta Reign, and that's because of these contacts being made between the fan communities and the team itself. So yeah, I am a member of the Royal Family. I'm very fortunate to be being carried not only to higher SR but also to these watch parties by the talented people who are running these: Bear, Leo, Birdwatchers, Blitz, Payload Atlanta. All these people are just phenomenal, and just we wouldn't have any of these parties without them. And beyond that, I also want to give a shout out to other organizations in the community that are setting up, independent parties and trying to do their own thing. We always need more fans doing more things, and anything someone wants to do that facilitates fans having a good time is awesome. So ATL 6, I know, is another fan group that is on has been active on Twitter and stuff. They set up a watch party at the Jekyll Brewing for the Paris game, and I know the Payload guys showed up over there, and it was that seemed like it was a good time. I wasn't able to make it up for that, unfortunately, but it's great having this even with a group that is kind of working with the team. We still have other groups that are so into the Reign that they're setting up, they're doing legwork, they're calling people and making deals and setting up their own watch parties, because Atlanta's a big city. There's a lot of places, and there's room for multiple watch parties for people that maybe can't make it to the north side of Atlanta and live on the south side but want to make it to a party. So we're hoping to work together with all of these groups and really just be a big family, a big community. And yeah, I love you guys. I love the community. I love my friends. This is great. I love Atlanta. So that's all I got this week, guys. I appreciate you stopping in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. Also, check me out on the Game Haus, which I've been writing recaps for all of the games, as well as previews for the upcoming games, and the Reign Over Me podcast, where I've been working with Shy Guy every week to record a kind of more in-depth dive into what I think of the games and how they went, as well as predictions for upcoming games. So I'll put links in the description for that. If you want a little more in-depth look at how the games have gone and stuff, definitely check those things out. And yeah, that's it, guys. Until next time, I'll talk to you later.